Good afternoon, I'm Dan Gray, and you're watching MediaPlex Live at 1. The Windsor Public Library will be receiving $200,000 from the Ontario government to support its projects. The Library Hub's Meeting Community Needs project will give greater access to those experiencing homelessness or living in poverty which may have had experience with the library system before. They will also use the money to develop an electronic toolkit that will be shared with libraries across the province. This year's first robotics competition is quickly approaching. I had the opportunity to speak with local teams. Robots cost money, from servos to hydraulics to transportation. Everything that Assumption Catholic Purple Raiders need for First Robotics costs dollars. Assumption is the reigning First Robotics regional champion. This year, all the teams are tasked with building a robot that can defend or attack a castle. According to Lauren Lanou, grade 11 student and business team leader for the Purple Raiders, the funds always go to good use.
It's important for our team because without the funds from our fundraising and from our sponsors, we wouldn't have the money to build the robot, to afford to go to competitions, and to afford to have a team in general.
First Robotics is a competition that is held where students construct robots to compete against one another or work in teams to achieve a goal. Eric Kuzmierczuk says companies see this as a way to cultivate the next generation of high-tech employee.
It's a program that is supported by about 3,000 companies worldwide, including half of all Fortune 500 companies. Companies like Boeing, Bombardier, Google, Microsoft, General Motors, Chrysler, you name it.
Fiat Chrysler Canada recently made a donation to the 12 local teams. According to Luann Gosling, head of communications, it's an investment that keeps students involved in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
So 12 local community schools were granted a $5,000 US award each this year to be used towards their programming efforts.
The regional competition will be held April 8th and 9th at the St. Denis Centre at the University of Windsor. It is open for public viewing. For MediaPlex News Now, I'm Dan Gray. Well, it looks like it's warming up. Overnight, it will be partly cloudy and drop down to -4 degrees. Tomorrow, there will be a high of 7. The U of W is making sure they help victims of sexual assault on campus. Caleb Workman has the story.
I think that when implemented, it will make a difference. It will not just be another policy. It will make a difference in the lives of our students, and that's important.
That's what Clayton Smith, Dean of Students for the University of Windsor, said about their newest policy. The University of Windsor has been working on and creating a standalone policy to deal with acts of sexual violence on campus. The policy underlines and stresses issues such as what a survivor is, what a bystander is, and how to address an act of sexual violence as a victim or a bystander. Dua Triki, a University of Windsor Student Alliance senator, has been working with the Policies Committee on the project since its early stages.
It's going to help women, especially victims of sexual violence on campus, to get support, help, counseling that they need. In addition to that, it is creating a culture and setting a precedent that sexual violence on our campus here at University of Windsor is not tolerated or accepted.
Jessica Tetro, president of Jack.org for the University of Windsor, said it's important for all universities to have some policy in place against sexual violence.
People a lot of times are getting away with these things, and universities are, playing it down. That's obviously not cool, so it's really important that we start actually punishing people for these things, and that, the perpetrator shouldn't be allowed to graduate while the victim, has to go through these things for the rest of their life that they were assaulted. So.
The University of Windsor is asking students, faculty, and staff to take a look at the policy for any possible revisions that need to be made. All reviews are due by January 29th. The University of Windsor is hoping to have the final policy by the end of February 2016. For MediaPlex News, I'm Caleb Workman.
Bell Let's Talk Day was a success. More than $6.2 million was raised, setting an all-new record for the Bell Canada campaign, which started in 2010. During a 28-hour period, Wednesday starting at midnight from Newfoundland to Vancouver, more than 125 million calls, texts, tweets, and shares were made. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Dan Gray, and you've been watching MediaPlex Live at 1.